Hello guys, good to see you back. Once again, I am back with a new project related animation. And today in this project we are going to build, today in this tutorial we are going to create this beautiful menu. When I hover my cursor on this menu items, as you can see, we have a background fade scene and we have total 2 border. And this border moving out from this link. One border moved to the top right and another border moved to the bottom left. So let's see how we can create this beautiful menu hover effect. But before we start our coding, let me introduce you something. This project is part of this course, CSS and Web Animation. If you want to learn CSS, SVG, JavaScript and GSAP animation in a single course, then this course is for you. These courses come with 24 hours on-demand video, 194 downloadable resources and lifetime access. It is the new, fresh and organized course on Udemy about CSS animation. This course will come with 14 different sections. Here we are going to learn transition-based animation projects, CSS keyframe-based animation projects, JavaScript DOM-based animation projects, SVG animation projects, GSAP animation projects. Also, we are going to learn all the basic about it. It is the most complete course about CSS animation and till today it's come with more than 60 plus projects. If you are interested to learn, I will provide the link at my description. So let's get started. So as you can see side by side, I opened my Visual Studio Code editor and my browser using live server extension and I already created an HTML document named index.html. With that I create style.css file and I link this file with this document. Now at first inside the body tag, here I am going to take UL tag, UL. UL stands for unordered list. Then inside this UL tag, I am going to take list item, LI. And inside the LI tag, I am going to take anchor tag, A. And here, I am going to type our first menu item is home. Then I duplicate this line. And I am going to make this one about. Then I duplicate this line again. This one is for services. Also I want to duplicate this line and this one is for portfolio. And the last one is for contact. And I'm going to save this file. And now we need to place the menu items in the middle of this page. For that we need to jump into the CSS file, style.css. And first I'm going to target the body tag, body. And inside the curly braces, first I'm going to assign margin. Margin, I want to remove default margin from every of the element. So I use 0. After that, I'm going to make display, I'm going to make it flex. Justify content center. Also align items center. Then I'm going to assign height. Here I'm going to assign height 100 VH. After that, I'm going to assign font family. Font family, here I'm going to assign Arial font. And I'm going to set this file. After set this file, as you can see, it aligned the items middle of this page, vertically and horizontally. Next, I'm going to target the unordered list. For that, I'm going to select UL. Then inside the curly braces, first property I'm going to use margin. And I'm going to make margin 0. Next property I'm going to use padding also 0. After that I'm going to make display I'm going to make it flex. Next I want to remove the dots, these icons. So I'm going to type list style, I'm going to make it none and I'm going to set this file. After set this file, as you can see, it removed the dots and it placed the items side by side because of display flex property. Next, we need to provide space between them. We need to remove the underline. Also, we need to work on the fonts. But before, I am going to assign a background color to this body tag. Background, here I am going to use background #222 dark gray. And I am going to set this file. After set this file, I am going to target the anchor tags. So I am going to type UL, LI, then I'm going to target the anchor tag inside it. Then inside the curly braces, first I'm going to assign a color to this font. So I'm going to use color property, color, and I'm going to make it and I'm going to make it white, fully visible. After that, I'm going to define font size, and I'm going to make it 20 pixel. Then I want to remove the underline. For that, we need to use text decoration property. Text decoration none. We need to make it none to remove the underline. Next, we need to convert this text into uppercase. For that, I'm going to use text transform property. Text transform, I'm going to make it uppercase. And I'm going to save this file. After save this file, this is how it's look like. Now we need to provide little padding between them. Also, we need to assign little margin. So I'm type padding. From top and bottom, I want to assign 5 pixel padding. And from left and right, I'm going to assign 10 pixel padding. Then I'm going to add little margin. Margin, from top and bottom, I'm going to assign 0 pixel margin, and from left and right, I'm going to assign 10 pixel margin. I have to set this file. This is how it's look like. After that, I'm going to assign position. Position, I'm going to make it relative. Then I want to assign transition. I want to assign transition to all of this element. Transition all, and our transition duration is 0.5 second. Now our menu is looking pretty nice. Next, we need to work on the hover effect. Next, we need to work on the bottom left corner border at that position. So, for that, to create the border, bottom left corner border, we are going to use before pseudo element. So I'm going to type anchor tag, and I want to select before. I'm going to use before pseudo element. Then inside the curly braces, first we need to create a blank content. Content is an empty content. After that, here I'm going to define the position of this content. Position, I'm going to make it absolute. Next, I'm going to position it bottom side. So I'm going to type bottom 0 and left also 0. Next, I'm going to define width and height. Width, I want to define width for now 12 pixel, and height also 12 pixel. Then I'm going to define a background color. For background, I'm going to use yellow color. I use this background color for temporary purpose. After set this file, here you can see the result. At that position, we create a box, a square box. Now we need to add a border to the left side and bottom side. But at first, I'm going to define border to all of the direction. So I'm going to type border property. Border, and I'm going to assign 3 pixel border, and our border color and our border style is solid. And our border color is, I'm going to use white color. White. FFF, fully visible. And I'm going to set this file. After set this file, if you notice carefully, you can see the border around this square box. But as I told you, I want the border at bottom and left side. For that, we need to use border width property. So type border width. Border width, for the top I'm going to pass 0, for the right also I'm going to pass 0, from the bottom I'm going to pass 3 pixel, and for the left also I'm going to pass 3 pixel. And I'm going to save this file. After save this file, now you can notice the border at left side and the bottom. If I change the background color, if I make it red, I think now it's more visible. So to create the border, now I don't need this background. So I'm going to comment out this slide and save it again. Now we need to do the same thing for the top right corner. For that, just we need to duplicate this line, and here instead of using before, I am going to use after pseudo element. After. And we need to change the position. Instead of bottom, here I'm going to use top. And instead of left, here I'm going to use right. Right, from the right I'm going to pass 0. And I'm going to save this file. This time we need to assign the border at top right side. So I'm going to remove this to value. Now for the top, here I use 3 pixel. For the right also I use 3 pixel. For the bottom I'm going to use 0, and for the left also I'm going to use 0. And if I save this file, you can see the result. Next, we need to work on the hover effect. But before, I am going to shift this border little inward. And also, I am going to invisible it. For that, I am going to change their position. So, for the before element, here instead of using 0 position, I am going to use 12 pixel. From the bottom and from the left, 12 pixel. And I'm going to set this file. Now it's shift to the little inward. And I'm going to set opacity and I'm going to make it 0. So now it's become invisible. After set this file, as you can see, the border become invisible. Now when I hover over this link, I want to move the border outward. I want to move the border outward again. For that, I'm going to type A, and when I hover over this link, and then I want to target the before pseudo element. Before. Then inside the curly braces, first I'm going to make opacity 1 again. And this time I want to move the border outward. For that, I'm going to change the bottom value, and I want to make it minus 5 pixel, and left value also minus 5 pixel. And I want this movement smoothly. For that, we need to use transition property. Transition, and I'm going to use type all, and I'm going to define 0.33 second. And I want to set this file. After set this file, if I hover my cursor on this element, you can notice the result. This is how it moved the border. Alright, we need to do the same thing for the top right border. So I'm going to change that position. So instead of 0, I'm going to make it 12 pixel. 12 pixel. And I'm going to set opacity 0. Also, I'm going to use transition property. Transition all, and transition duration is 0.3 second. And then I'm going to save this file. After save this file, as you can see, it vanishes the border. Now we need to work on the hover effect. So I select this section, basically copy this section, and I'm going to paste it here. After that, instead of using before, I'm going to target after element. After. And I'm going to save this file. Also, we need to change their position. We need to make bottom to top and left to right. And I'm going to save this file. After save this file, as you can see, it vanished both the element, both the borders. And when I hover my cursor above the anchor tags, here it reappears it again. It moves inward to outwards. Now just one thing we have left. We need to change the background color when I hover over this link. For that, we need to create the hover selector of anchor tag. So here, after that, I'm going to type A : hover. And inside the curly braces, at first I'm going to define the background color. And I'm going to make it background color white. Also, I want to change the text color, because if we do not change the text color, then our font color match with the background color and our text become invisible. So I'm going to set color, font color, I want to make it 222, dark gray, and I'm going to save this file. After save this file, if I hover my cursor on this anchor tag, here you can see the beautiful hover effect. So this is how we create this beautiful menu hover effect. So I hope now it's clear for you how you can build it. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next project.